I'm Teresa. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me here today. I've treated myself this last week to some new gel plates. For those of you that have followed my videos for a while, you know that I always use Jelly Arts gel printing plates. The only reason that I use that brand is I bought my plates from my local craft store. That's the brand that they sold, and I've never had any reason to try anything different. Up to this point, I've been satisfied with the plates that I've got. Just recently, though, I've really fancied trying different sizes, different shapes, and so I thought I'm going to treat myself. My local store didn't have any plates in stock, so I had a look on Amazon, and looking at the prices, the Gel Press brand was a lot more reasonably priced than the Jelly Arts brand, so I thought I'd give them a try. They're both leading brands. I see equally good reviews and tutorials from using both of them, so I thought, why not? It'll give me an opportunity to try a different brand, plus I get to try the different shapes and sizes that I wanted. I treated myself first of all to this 6-inch square plate. Haven't got a square plate. I've got a couple of circular plates and a couple of rectangular plates, so that would be nice to have a 6-inch square. And the other thing that I wanted to try was some smaller plates. I do get asked about techniques for using the smaller plates, so I bought this 3-inch by 5-inch rectangular plate, and that's the one that I'm going to be using today. But I've also bought this set of 3 petites. Now they do 2 different sets from as far as I can gather. This one has a hexagon, an oval, and a little mini rectangle in there, and they do one that I think it has a triangle, possibly a circle and a square, something like that. But anyway, I really quite liked the look of the hexagon and the small oval, as well as this tiny little rectangle as well. So today we're going to be focusing on the 3 by 5-inch plate. I'm going to be showing you 4 different ways of using it to create 4 different types of project. Really simple. All of these things, again, if you've got a larger plate, you can just probably do this with a larger plate, albeit I am going to be using this small plate as a stamp because it's so easy to pick up and maneuver, and you may well have difficulty doing that with a larger plate. So for those of you that have been asking for ideas for using small plates, this is especially for you, but please don't discount the techniques that I'm using today if all you have is a larger plate. So I'm going to move these out of the way, get set up, and I'll show you how they're done. As always, I'm going to give a quick rundown of the items that I'm using today. This beautiful brand new crystal clear plate that I'm using today is the 3 by 5-inch Gel Press gel printing plate. As I said, this is the first time that I've used this brand. I've always used Jelly Arts plates in the past because that's what I had. So I will be interested to see if there is any difference in the way that they perform. I don't expect there to be any discernible difference between Gel Press and Jelly Arts. They're both leading brands, and they seem to have equal sized followings, so I expect it to perform exactly the same way. I'm going to be using some Deco Art Americana acrylic paints. I've got Desert Turquoise, Carousel Pink, and Cadmium Yellow. This is a nice bright neon set of sort of like a primary set. I've also got black and white, snow white, lamp black, got those as well. I'm using my Speedball rubber brayer. Any brayer will do, it really doesn't matter. I've got the rubber brayers, I've got this Speedball brayer, and whichever one I grab first is the one that I used. This was still out from last week, so I'm using this one again. I have a selection of paper and cardstock to print on. I've got a selection of stencils, and as I do each technique, I'll mention what it is that I'm using as we go along. And today, really, I just want to sort of show that these small plates are still versatile. I do have a couple of people that I know that watch the videos that have said to me, I've loved what you did this week, but I only have a small plate. Can I still do what you did? Can I still do the same techniques? And my answer is always yes, you can use the same techniques, but obviously a smaller plate can be more limiting than one of the large ones. But today I thought I would focus specifically on this small 3 by 5-inch size and just see what can you do with it, how you can make it versatile. If money is an issue, and I know that the bigger the plates get, the more expensive they do get. A lot of people do start off with a smaller plate just to see whether they like it or not. So yeah, hopefully today I'm going to show you that this size can still be versatile, and in some ways you can do things with a small plate that you can't necessarily do with a larger plate as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do with my small plate, without really like sounding as though I'm stating the obvious, is you can just make small prints. So doing, whatever you would normally do on a larger plate, just create a smaller print. And that's ideal if you want to print, use your prints on a greetings card, if you want to use them on tags or artist trading cards, any more small scale sort of format. But equally, if you want to frame your print, you can still make a really nice looking print just on a small scale.
I remember the day when we started talking. We were kids and I knocked down all of your marbles, but you did not seem to mind at all. We took our bikes to the lake after school each day and skipped many stones from the beach, and one thing you said was, listen, I will have your back always. And now we're grown up, I don't really see you enough. There's too much to be done, it's no fun. But even if we're far apart, I know where we belong. Haven't changed a bit in my heart. Your words have never been wrong. You are my own safety zone. You're solid like a granite stone.
Like so. And as I say, for a small scale print, I can trim this up, and that's going to make a really nice greetings card or a little tag that you can pop into a journal or something like that. Now, the second thing that you can do with your small plate is to still make larger prints, and you can create like a patchwork effect. So work with the fact that you have this 3x5 inch rectangle and sort of create a patchwork quilt effect on a larger piece of paper or cardstock. So this is perhaps about 8 inches square smooth white cardstock, and that's what I'm going to be working on now. And again, just going to work some different layers of paint, different patterning, and see what sort of a pattern we can build up to create a larger print.
It came very sudden the day when we moved away from what had been our home since forever. I was scared then, so scared that I would lose you. But you called me up right after I touched the ground. You wanted to hear that I got there all safe and sound, and you said, I know we're gonna stay the same. And now we're grown up, I don't really see you enough. There's too much to be done, yeah, it's no fun. But even if we're far apart, I know where we belong. Haven't changed a bit in my heart. Your words have never been wrong. You are my own safety zone. You're solid like a granite stone. I know where we belong. My own safety zone. Haven't changed a bit in my heart. Your words have never been wrong. My own safety zone. I know where we belong. started talking, we were kids, and I knocked down all of your mobiles, but you did not seem to mind at all. We took our bikes to the lake after school each day and skipped many stones from the beach, and one thing you said was, listen, I will have your back always, and I will.
There's my finished print. I'm going to leave it at that. You can keep building up layers as you want to, but I like the fact that the layers overlap and create this sort of patchwork effect. By using a limited colour palette, it all works well together. The next good thing that I'm going to be able to do with this smaller size plate whilst it's on an acrylic block is to work directly into a journal. Obviously with larger plates, they're going to be much harder to try and lift up and manhandle. And if you've got quite a bulky art journal, to try and press that down onto a plate is rather difficult. So working on a small scale plate like these is going to be absolutely ideal. So I'm just going to clean off the paint that is left over from my previous project. And again, I'm going to just start putting some paint on.
And now we're grown up, I don't really see you enough. There's too much to be done. Yeah, it's no fun. But even if we're far apart, I know where we belong. Haven't changed a bit in my heart. Your words have never been wrong. You are my own safety zone. You're solid like a granite stone. It came very sudden today when we moved away from what had been our home since forever. I was scared then, so scared that I would lose.
So I'm going to let that dry and I can finish that page off with some embellishments, a bit of journaling. These other two prints here, this is the start for something else for another day. And finally, I'm going to use my small plate to create some borders on the edge of some pages and use those pages then to create a little mini journal that's got a decorated edge. Now I've created a couple of masks here that I've just cut from some black cardstock. I've cut one so like a random zigzag and one with just a wavy design. I have some pieces of paper here. These are 5 inches by 10 inches, so that when they're folded in half, they'll make a little 5-inch square journal. And I'm going to print down the edge on each side so that it's just the outer edge that's got some printing on when I've made my little mini book. So I'm going to pop one of the masks on one side. I'm going to pop the other one on the other side. And that way I can work on both sides of the same page. Set that aside to dry and then make a couple more pages so that I've got enough for a little mini booklet. Now if you want to hold these masks in place with a little bit of painter's tape or some washi tape, then go ahead. If you want to keep them perfectly still, I've just got a scrap of paper underneath here because I'm going to be stamping over the edge and I didn't want to get paint all over the table. So a little bit of masking tape there will hold everything down.
You call me up right after I touch the ground. You wanted to hear that I got there all safe and sound, and you said, I know we're gonna stay the same. And now we're grown up, I don't really see you enough. There's too much to be done. Yeah, it's no fun. But even if
our paper, we've got some nice fun printed borders along the edges. So I'm going to repeat that on a few more sheets just to show you what that will look like as a finished project. And I shall be back again to show you all my completed projects. And here are my finished prints. I've just sort of completed or partially completed the projects just to show you what to do with them. First up is this a small print that we did at the beginning. Just matted that onto some card and put it on a card blank. You could add a sentiment, you could leave it, just an idea of what you can do with it and how nice it is just to use a small scale print as it is. Then this was our larger print, our patchwork that we did by placing positive and negative images and turning it and layering it. I've just trimmed away the excess from the edges, and we could either pop that in a frame, we could do some more stenciling on top, we could cut that down into bookmarks or artist trading cards. But again, a nice finished print on a larger scale just by using a few stencils and colours and that small plate. Next up was my journal page. This I'd printed directly onto the paper in my journal. So I've just doodled around the edge of that with a pen just to sort of frame it and define the print. Added a printed sticker and then drawn some lines in, ready for some art journaling, ready to put my thoughts of the day in there. And then finally, this was the little borders that we created. I've just made a simple card cover from some black cardstock, stapled it with some mini staples. And as you can see, we've now got decorated pages inside. Now I only printed on one side. There is no reason why you can't print on both sides, and then every page is going to have a border on it, both sides. That would look really nice, but just for time's sake today, I just printed on the one side. But again, a really nice idea. The small gel plates are easy to pick up and maneuver, so take advantage of that fact, and I really enjoyed that. I can decorate the cover. Indeed, I could always cut down this larger print into some smaller panels and use that to decorate that cover. So I hope this has shown you just some ideas of what you can do if all you have at your disposal is a small plate. They're still really versatile. They're really useful whether you use it in the same way that you would use a larger plate or whether you pick it up and use it almost as a stamp. They are a great thing to add into your collection. And I look forward to using the other small shaped plates that I've got as well at some point in the near future. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and do check out the playlist that I always link at the end of these gel printing videos in the end card. Lots of inspiration there for different printing projects and ideas of how to use your completed prints. But for now, that's all. Bye.